My husband left me for a younger woman, so I became her stepmother. Now they both call me Madam.
The day Joanna Obi caught her husband cheating wasn't the worst day of her life. The worst day was when he made her believe she was crazy for even thinking it. He looked her in the eyes, with that same mouth that used to say, "I love you," and told her she was insecure, paranoid, delusional. And for 5 humiliating days, she believed him. She cooked for him, slept beside him, prayed for their marriage, until the day she followed him, until she saw the girl, until she met the girl's father. And then, she made him hers. Now her cheating ex calls her Ma. Want to find out how it happened? Watch till the end and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more intriguing stories. Joanna Obi stared at the 2 wine glasses on the dining table, untouched. One for her, one for Jude. The candles were melting low, casting shadows on the wall. It was 9:47 p.m. He was supposed to be home at 8. She glanced at her phone for the 6th time in 5 minutes. No missed calls, no texts, no "babe, I'm stuck in traffic." Not even a lazy lie. Her phone buzzed. Not Jude, but her sister, Addie. Addie, you sure he's not with someone? Or are we still pretending this man isn't a Lego's husband? Joanna didn't respond. Not tonight. Tonight she needed to believe this marriage was still holding. That her husband of 8 years, the man she met in university, who once wrote her poetry in biro on tissue paper, hadn't become a stranger. The front door opened. She turned. There he was, Jude Obi, charcoal suit, loosened tie, the same cologne he wore when they first met. "Ah, babe," he said casually, dropping his keys in the ceramic bowl by the door. Traffic was mad. Third Mainland was like parking lot. He leaned in to kiss her cheek, but she stepped back. "You said you'd be back by 8. "I know," he exhaled, loosening his shirt cuffs. "Client meeting ran late. You know how these deals go." "And the lipstick on your shirt?" she asked softly, lifting the wine-stained collar. He paused, blinked. "What lipstick?" "The pink one. I don't wear pink." Jude scoffed. "Joanna, are we really doing this again? You're always reading meaning into everything." "I found a receipt in your pocket. For dinner at Villa 41. 2 glasses of wine, 2 meals. That was 3 nights ago, the same night you said you had that office retreat in Epi." A beat, then laughter, sharp, dismissive. "So you're checking receipts now? Jesus, Joanna, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You're always paranoid, always looking for something to fight about." He walked past her, went to the table, looked at the food, poked it like it offended him. "This is cold." "You're cheating on me," she said, quietly, not even asking, just releasing the truth into the room like smoke. Jude turned around slowly. "You've really lost it," he said. "You're not the woman I married anymore. You're bitter, suspicious. You nag, you complain, you snoop through my pockets. Maybe if you spent less time playing detective and more time being a wife." He let the rest hang in the air like a noose. Joanna stood there, eyes stinging, heart bruising. She felt stupid, over-emotional, unreasonable. Maybe she was crazy. Maybe it was all in her head. Maybe. Then his phone buzzed. He ignored it. Buzzed again. This time he picked it up and walked toward the balcony. She saw the name. Cecil. Joanna blinked. Heart froze. He spoke low, but she heard it. "No, baby. Of course I'm not staying the night. I'm just calming her down. Yeah, I love you too." He stepped outside. Joanna didn't move. Couldn't. Her knees were soft. Her stomach flipped. Her ears rang. And just like that, her delusion died. This wasn't insecurity. This wasn't paranoia. This was betrayal. Real, live, bleeding. She walked to the mirror and looked at herself. A 35-year-old woman with tired eyes and expensive makeup that suddenly looked cheap. She smiled bitterly. Then she picked up her phone. Bio investigations. Private discreet. She dialed. "Good evening," she said, voice steady. "I need information on a girl. Name's Cecil. Probably fake, but she thinks she's sleeping with my husband. I want to know everything. And I mean everything." The office was on the 2nd floor of a tired-looking plaza in Ikeja, tucked between a beauty supply store and a betting shop. The sign outside read, "Bio investigations. Private discreet." But discreet was the last word that came to mind when the door swung open. "Madam Joanna, you don't even look like a woman they can cheat on," Bio said, grinning like he was greeting a childhood friend and not a client hiring him to spy on her husband. He was short, round, dressed in a cream-colored caftan that matched his teeth. A Bluetooth earpiece hung permanently from his ear, even though it wasn't connected to anything. He waved her in like he was running a barbershop. Joanna took a seat, crossing her legs and trying not to breathe too deeply. The whole room smelled like suya and engine oil. "You don't look very discreet," she muttered. Now the results weighed discreet, not the man. He winked. "So who are we catching?" Joanna placed her iPad on the desk, pulled up the contact name, Cecil, and slid it toward him. "That's her. That's the girl he's been calling." He saved her with a heart emoji. Once hard enter contact name like this, just know say the man no they fear God again. Bayo cracked his knuckles and began writing on a notepad like he was preparing for an exam. "You suspect they're meeting up?" "I don't suspect. I know." "Evidence?" His lies, his gaslighting, lipstick on his shirt. A receipt from Villa 41. He claimed he was at a company retreat in Ipi, but he's retreating inside somebody's daughter. Bayo whistled. "Okay, I will start tailing him tomorrow morning. Send me his car details, plate number and office address. Give me 2 days. We go expose everything. I want pictures, names, background, who she really is, who her parents are. If she has a dog, I want the breed. I want to destroy this fantasy." "You don't need to destroy it," Bayo said, standing with the pride of a man about to fight in a spiritual battle. "I will scatter it." 2 days later, Joanna sat in her car, tinted windows rolled up, her heart a small drum against her chest. She was parked across the street from the Orchid Lounge in Lakey. Upscale, glass walls, valet parking, soft jazz playing in the background. Bayo sat beside her, chewing ground nuts like he wasn't about to destroy lives. "He don't land," Bayo muttered, pointing at a black SUV pulling in. "Mr. Jude Obi. Time, 6:32 p.m. Lagos time." Jude stepped out in a crisp white linen shirt. He looked happy, relaxed, the man Joanna used to know. Then she saw her. Cecil. Maybe 22, maybe less. Crop top that cost more than Joanna's entire outfit. She ran up to Jude and hugged him like she'd won a lottery. And in a way, she had. Joanna didn't breathe. They kissed. On the mouth. In public. She felt heat crawl up her spine, a volcano of betrayal pressing against her chest. "That's her?" Bayo asked quietly. Joanna nodded. "Nah, wah. She be like peekin' way suppose they right whack, not they collect alimony kisses." They watched in silence as Jude and Cecil disappeared into the restaurant. Joanna finally spoke. "Want everything you can find on her. I want her real name, her background. I want to know what kind of demons gave her the confidence." Bayo nodded. "Give me 48 hours. I go give you information that will make your enemies start praying for you." 48 hours later. "Madam, this girl no be small fish. She be presidential buffet." Joanna sat across from Bayo in a quiet cafe, holding the file he'd dropped on the table like a mic drop. Name Cecilia Montana, age 23. Occupation, technically unemployed, full-time lifestyle babe. Father, Jerry Montana, real estate developer, net worth in the billions. Mother, Angela Montana, socialite, notorious for publicly slapping a senator's wife. She's supposed to be in London studying architecture at UCL, Bayo explained, sipping Zobo. But Madam never reach Heathrow. All na online lies. Her papa thinks she's abroad. But me, I found her flat in Lekki. Paid for up front 1 year. Who paid? Still confirming. But the money no be from her. Joanna flipped through the photos. Cecil at brunch. Cecil at some hotel spa. Cecil kissing Jude in a shopping mall parking lot. Cecil holding his hand, the same way Joanna used to. Joanna closed the file. Bayo leaned in. "So, what next? You want to confront her?" Joanna smiled slowly. "No, I want to confront her father." The reception at Montana Towers smelled like new money and imported air freshener. Glass walls, marble floors, gold accents. It was the kind of place that whispered wealth instead of shouting it. Joanna Obi had no business being here. And yet, here she was, in her crisp white blazer, heels clicking like a gavel of judgment on the marble tiles. A new wig framed her face just right. "Good afternoon," the receptionist said. "Do you have an appointment with Mr. Montana?" Joanna smiled, rehearsed and cool. "Yes, Joanna Obi, interior designer. I reached out last week about renovating the guest wing of his Banana Island property. It wasn't a total lie." She had emailed, called, and followed up, twice. No reply. So she walked in and made it happen herself. After 15 minutes and 2 confirmation calls later, the elevator doors opened. "Mr. Montana will see you now." Jerry Montana was exactly what you'd expect a billionaire to look like. Clean-shaven, salt and pepper beard, dark skin that glowed like it had its own PR team, and eyes that didn't blink unless necessary. His office was minimalist, tastefully intimidating. A single-statement art piece on the wall, abstract, black and red, like a visual warning. He didn't look up when she entered. "You're early," he said, still scribbling something in a leather notebook. Joanna stepped in like she owned the floor. "Or maybe I'm just on time, and the rest of the world is late." That made him glance up. A flicker of surprise passed across his face. He gestured at the chair opposite him. "You said you're an interior designer?" "I said a lot of things, but I didn't come here to talk about wallpaper." He studied her, slowly putting down his pen. "Then talk." Joanna placed the slim manila file on the table and pushed it toward him. Jerry didn't open it immediately. He looked at her again, properly this time. This woman with clean cheekbones, tired eyes, and a calmness that only people on the verge of revenge ever possess. Then he opened it. Silence. Page by page, photos, call logs, a printed receipt from Villa 41, CCTV screenshots, a blurry but clear enough image of Jude and Cecil in a compromising pose in a car park. He inhaled through his nose, shut the file. "Cecil," he said flatly. "My daughter." "Your daughter," Joanna confirmed, "and my husband." "Ex-husband?" "Soon enough." He stood and walked to the bar at the side of his office, poured himself a drink. No offer for her. This wasn't hospitality, it was war prep. "You're telling me this because someone should," she said. "Your ex-wife knows, by the way. She's been covering for them." Jerry paused, glass halfway to his lips. "That woman," he muttered. "Cecil isn't in the UK. She isn't studying architecture. She isn't even pretending anymore. She's running around Lagos with my husband, thinking the world owes her an apology. And what do you want from me, Mrs. Obi?" Joanna stood, slow and deliberate, her heels making small declarations on the hardwood. "I want to see if their love can survive the same poverty they forced on me." "You want revenge?" "I want justice, the poetic kind." "You want me to cut off my daughter?" "Not just her, him too. I want Jude to feel what I felt when I was staring at cold soup and wondering why I wasn't enough." Jerry sipped his drink, still watching her. "You're dangerous." "Only to people who lie to me." Another pause. "And if I help you?" he asked. "Then what?" "Then you get to see if your daughter really loves the man she's been hiding, and I get to watch them crash like a bad investment." Jerry chuckled, dry and sharp, the kind of laugh that comes with age and betrayal. "You know, I always thought she'd run into a wall eventually. I didn't think the wall would wear heels and carry a manila file." Joanna smiled. "I'm not the wall, I'm the ground. They're going to fall on me." Hours later, Jerry's phone rang. Angela. He answered without a greeting. "Did you know our daughter is sleeping with a married man?" "I knew she was dating someone, but I'm not her sponsor," Angela retorted. "This is beyond scandal. She's funding this fantasy on someone else's marriage." "The wife should fix her husband, not blame my daughter," Angela scoffed. "You encourage this to spite me," Jerry said. She laughed. "Cecil's grown. If she loves sloppy luxury, why deny her?" He hung up quietly, furious, and as the manila file lay before him, opened again, he pulled it together with resolution. 1 week later, Cecil Montana's day had started like every other, with an Instagram story, a shot of her almond milk latte, a pouty boomerang with a mood caption, a video of her fresh set of nails tapping her designer clutch. Then she tried to pay for her blowout, and the POS terminal flashed, "Declined." She smiled awkwardly. "Sorry, that's weird. Try it again." The stylist tried. 3 more times. Still declined. "Maybe your limit don't reach," the stylist offered, trying to sound gentle. Cecil's lips twitched. "My limit? Please, I don't have a limit." She pulled out her second card, her emergency card, the one Daddy used to top up with small change every other week. Declined. A third card. Declined. Panic began crawling up her spine. She stepped outside, dialed her bank manager, no answer. Then she tried the one number she'd never had to call for financial matters, Jerry Montana. He picked up after 2 rings. "Cecil," he said evenly. "Daddy, what's going on? My cards aren't working, none of them. Did something happen?" "Yes, you happened." "What?" "You're cut off." "Cut off? Why? For what?" She half screamed, drawing a few stares from onlookers. "Check your email. I sent you an itemized list of poor decisions. Start with the one where you started funding a married man's lifestyle while pretending to be in London." "You're joking." "No. I'll be laughing when you realize Wi-Fi isn't free in Lekki." And he hung up. Meanwhile, Jude Obi was pacing in their Airbnb, shirtless, stressed. His laptop blinked at him with a failed transaction. Error. Insufficient funds. His last 3 investments had collapsed overnight. Cecil stormed in, nails half done, hair flat on one side, rage all over her face. "What the hell is happening? You tell me. You were the one with all the connections, all the accounts, the links." I called my dad. "And?" "He cut me off." "Cut us off, you mean?" "No, Jude. You were supposed to be a man. I wasn't dating you to become poor. This wasn't the arrangement." "Arrangement?" Jude's voice rose. "I left my wife for you." "You left your wife because you thought I was an upgrade. Turns out you're just broke with a new view." He threw a pillow. She threw her heels. The power blinked. NEPA. Back in Montana, Joanna was lying on a velvet chaise in Jerry's private lounge, sipping Prosecco like it was the blood of her enemies. Jerry walked in, loosened his tie, and handed her a tablet. "You'll like this." A video, grainy security footage, showed Cecil arguing at a spa, then later, Jude shouting at a generator repairman. Joanna burst out laughing. "You've got eyes everywhere? Money is the Wi-Fi of surveillance." She looked up at him, eyes twinkling. "I almost feel sorry for them." "Don't." She stood, set her drink down. Then a slow smile from Jerry. "I think I'm starting to like revenge, especially when it looks this good." He offered his arm. She took it. And Joanna had just finished laying the last detail bare. Jude's betrayal, Cecil's lies, the receipts, the audacity. "Angela, my ex-wife, knew," he muttered. "She knew about Jude. And she encouraged it," Joanna added, "because hurting you was more important than protecting her daughter." He turned to the window, glass like a shield. "Cecil was always her weapon. I was too busy building empires to see I'd married my competition." Joanna exhaled slowly. The heat in the room wasn't just anger anymore. It was heavier, thicker. Something had shifted. Broken trust had become shared ruin, and shared ruin had its own kind of seduction. Later that evening, Joanna didn't mean to stay late. She'd only come back to drop off an NDA Jerry wanted her to sign. But his voice was softer this time. His eyes didn't blink as much, and when he poured her a glass of bourbon, she didn't say no. They sat in his private lounge, the city lights below blinking like stars caught in traffic. "How do you even live like this?" Joanna asked, sipping. "Glass walls, elevators, people who lie in custom suits." "I don't live," Jerry said. "I manage." "Same," she whispered. "Or I used to." He looked at her then, not just at her, but into her. The wine loosened her throat. The grief hardened her edges. It was a dangerous combination. "You know what I hate the most?" she asked. "What?" "That they made me question if I was enough, as if love was ever about worth." Jerry moved closer. His voice was like velvet trimmed in steel. "You were too much. That's why they left. Some people mistake light for fire, and they run before they get burned." Another beat of silence. "And what's next in your plan?" he asked. Joanna turned toward him, slow, deliberate. Not thinking, just feeling. The kiss was slow. No hunger, just heat. Built from silence and mutual undoing. When he slid his hand to the back of her neck, she didn't pull away. When she pressed into him, breath hitching, he whispered, "Say stop." She didn't. He led her through the penthouse, into his private suite, past velvet curtains and imported candles. His robe slipped to the floor. Joanna exhaled, heart hammering. "Is this still revenge?" she whispered. Jerry lifted her onto the cold marble countertop. His voice was low, graveled with want. "No, this is reclamation." Their bodies met like old enemies reconciling. Sharp edges, soft moans, quiet confessions between gasps. His hands were not gentle. They were precise. Hers were not shy. They were claiming. And when she came apart beneath him, she didn't cry. She exhaled. Morning after Joanna stood by the balcony in his white shirt. Sunlight painted her like victory. Jerry handed her coffee. "Any regrets?" he asked. She sipped. "Only that I didn't burn them sooner." He smiled for the first time. A real one. "You know what they say about enemies of your ex? They become better lovers? No, they become your damn therapist." They both laughed. Outside, Lagos continued its bustle. But inside, a new game had begun. Sharper, sexier, and far more dangerous. Joanna wasn't just healing, she was winning. And next, she was going to make sure Cecil saw it all. La Vida wasn't just a restaurant, it was a performance. Crystal chandeliers, violinists by the bar, waiters trained to serve without being seen. If wealth had a scent, it would linger in the air here. Subtle notes of saffron, truffle, and generational privilege. It was the kind of place you introduced a lover when you were ready to show them off. And that's exactly what Cecil Montana planned to do. Her gold heels clicked against the Italian tiles like punctuation. On her arm, Jude. Freshly lined up, fake Rolex polished, nervous beneath his confident smile. She was glowing in emerald silk. He was trying to look like he belonged. "Are you sure your dad's okay with meeting me?" Jude asked, tugging at his sleeve. "Baby," she purred, patting his cheek. "My dad loves me. He'll love you, especially when he finds out we're building something. Whatever happens, smile. My dad's all bark." They walked in, lovebirds with a future. And then, they froze. Joanna was already seated, red dress, skin like vengeance, holding a wine glass like it was a dagger, and beside her, in an ash-gray suit that cost more than most people's rent, was Jerry Montana. Joanna met Cecil's stare with a smile that should have been illegal. "Oh," Joanna said lightly, tilting her head. "You must be the +2. Jude's face drained. He looked like a man standing in front of a firing squad holding a bouquet. Cecil blinked, eyes darting to her father, his expression unreadable. "Daddy?" she ventured. Jerry finally looked up, smiling like this was just another boardroom. "Cecilia. Jude. Join us." "What is this?" Cecil hissed, pulling out a chair like it might bite her. Cecil sat, slow and stiff. Jude hesitated, then perched beside her like a substitute teacher about to get cussed out by a principal. "Dinner," Jerry said coolly. "Your assistant said you had something to announce." Cecil straightened, flicked her hair, and tried to salvage the moment. "Yes, we do." She turned to Jude, beaming, then held out her hand. A small diamond ring winked on her finger. "We're engaged." The silence was instant and sharp. Jude tried to smile. Joanna just stared at the ring like it owed her money. Jerry exhaled, slowly, theatrically, and chuckled. "Congratulations," he smiled. Then he turned to Joanna, gesturing lazily. "I think this news deserves a toast." Joanna raised her glass. "To the kind of love that builds," she said, "not steals. May we always remember the difference." A silence followed, thick, velvety, cinematic. Then Jerry stood, his voice carried like gospel. "And to my future wife, Joanna Montana." The room gasped. Someone at a nearby table dropped a fork. Cecil's lips parted. No words came out. Jude looked like he'd been slapped by reality. Angela, who had arrived late as usual, turned on her heel and stormed out, stilettos clicking like gunfire. Cecil's voice finally found air. "You're joking." "Do I look like I'm laughing?" Jerry said coldly. "You embarrassed me, lied to me, and slept with a married man." He turned to Joanna, hand outstretched. She took it. Joanna showed me the kind of loyalty I should have demanded from my own blood. Joanna's eyes were soft, but her smile was razor-lined. "Congratulations, Cecilia. You broke a home. I just rebuilt mine." Cecil stood abruptly, chair scraping. "You can't do this, he's my father." "And I am," Jerry said, deeply ashamed of that. Joanna placed her napkin on the table, slowly, like a queen finishing court. "Shall we, darling?" Jerry offered his arm. She took it. As they walked out of La Vida, all eyes followed. Behind them, Jude whispered to Cecil, "What just happened?" Cecil's voice cracked. "We just lost the game." It started with a text alert at 6:03 a.m. GT Bank. Debit of NL 476200. Naira. Balance 0.000. Naira. Cecil blinked, rubbed her eyes, refreshed the app. "Error," she muttered. She tried her Zenith account. Balance 312.45. Naira tried the dollar card. Declined. She laughed, the kind of laugh that sounds like it might break into a scream. "Daddy?" she said, dialing in rapid panic. "Daddy?" No answer. She threw her phone across the room. Jude woke up, shirtless, groggy, reaching for her. "What's wrong, babe?" Everything. My cards are frozen. Maybe it's a bank glitch. It's not a glitch, Jude. My father froze my accounts. He cut me off. She was pacing now. Jude reached for his phone, frowning as he unlocked it. He opened his crypto trading app, or tried to. Session expired. Account flagged for suspicious activity. He refreshed his NFT portfolio. Gone. Every cartoon lion, pixel ape, and digital sneaker. He opened WhatsApp to message his plug. Number not on WhatsApp. Then, almost like a cherry on a disaster sundae, his eyes caught a screenshot sent to the group chat by his tech bro friends. Crypto Warrior NG. You see how Jerry Montana just blacklisted Joanna Obi from the entire Web3 ecosystem? This man know they play. His jaw tightened. I don't believe this, Jude whispered. This man blackballed me. He's literally calling my investors. Cecil snorted. You think that's bad? I just tried to order a bolt. They banned my card. I'm out here borrowing cash from my own housemaid. The housemaid you fired last night? Jude muttered. Silence. They were spiraling. The AC stopped humming. The lights blinked, then went off. Nepa has entered the chat, Jude sighed. Cecil screamed into a throw pillow. This is not my life. I was wearing Valentino last week. Jude, do something. What do you want me to do? Go beg your father? You were supposed to marry me. That was the plan. Plan changed, Jude snapped, eyes wild, pacing the now stuffy, silent living room. Cecil stood barefoot on the marble tiles, which somehow felt colder today. Hands in her tangled weave, breathing hard. Don't raise your voice at me, she warned, trembling. Then don't treat me like an ATM you forgot to refill, he barked. Excuse me. I made you, Jude. I upgraded you, bought you watches, flew you out, posted you on my page, and now your followers think I'm your stylist, he fired back. You think this was fun for me? Playing handbag to Jerry Montana's spoiled brat? She slapped him. Hard. The sound echoed in the room, louder than the silence that followed. Jude held his jaw, his chest heaving. He didn't hit back. He didn't speak. He just picked up his phone, shoved it into his pocket, and walked into the bedroom. What was left of it? The echo of the door slam hit Cecil in the chest. Shh, she whispered to herself. Half an hour later, the fridge was empty. Literally empty. One leftover sushi box, one expired yogurt, a tub of shea butter someone mistook for ice cream. Cecil sat on the kitchen counter, eyes blank. Her notifications were dry. No one was posting her. No one was calling. Even the gossip blogs had moved on. She opened her burner account and typed into the search bar, Joanna Obi. What popped up made her blink twice. A post, Joanna, in red lipstick, sitting in the back of a Rolls Royce. Then, the carousel swipe. Second photo, Joanna in silk, wine glass in hand, Jerry Montana kissing her shoulder like she was his retirement plan. Cecil dropped her phone. Meanwhile, in Surulere, Jude dragged the last Ghana must go into his sister's flat. Sweat soaked through his once expensive linen shirt. His face looked 10 years older. I swear I'm gonna bounce back, he muttered to his sister as she handed him a sachet of pure water. She just stared. Bounce back with what? She said. You've been trending for 48 hours, and not in a good way. My landlord even asked if I'm housing Yahoo boys. He slumped into the plastic chair, head in his hands. It was supposed to be simple, he whispered. She wasn't supposed to fight back. Cecil, alone on the balcony, scrolled through her camera roll. Deleted everything with Jude's face in it. All the Bonnie Clyde captions, the fake London trip, the anniversary brunch. Gone. She looked at herself in the front cam. Puffy eyes, dry lips, hair matted from sweat and stress. And then she said it out loud to no one but the night sky. I'm the one who's supposed to be wearing the ring. There were 2 trending hashtags that morning. G Montana proposal, from side chick to stepmom. Joanna didn't post them, but she didn't have to. The blogs did the heavy lifting. Bellinasia, Instablog, even the petty gossip pages with watermarked screenshots and grainy zoom-ins. The photo was everywhere, Joanna Obi in a champagne gold dress, teary-eyed, one hand over her mouth, and the other hand bearing a 7-carat emerald-cut ring. Behind her, Jerry Montana on one knee, in a crisp white native looking smug and unbothered, like a man who just closed a Billionaire merger and proposed in the same breath. Back in Surulere, Cecil sat frozen on Jude's sister's old couch, eyes red from sleep deprivation and humiliation. This is not happening, she whispered. Jude didn't say anything. He just stared at the phone like it had personally betrayed him. Bio, the PI, sent Jude a voice note at 7:03 a.m. Oga Jude, Abi like say you dey use generator now. No be AC. Now who laugh last go get fuel. Cheers. Jude blocked him. Joanna, meanwhile, was radiant. Not just beautiful, expensive. Her bump was just starting to show. Just enough for people to speculate, not enough for confirmation. Angela, Jerry's ex-wife, tried to post a shady Insta story. Some women use babies to trap billionaires, others build with them. Know the difference. But the shade didn't land. Joanna posted a photo from her private jet with a tray of oysters and the caption, "Built, blessed, and busy." At La Vida Lagos again, Joanna and Jerry were seated in their regular booth. Red velvet, gold trim, candlelight reflecting off her ring. "You know this will drive them insane," Jerry said, swirling his wine. "Good," Joanna replied. "They called me weak. Let them choke on their delusion.